friends. So sometimes you will find yourself in situations with people where you go way out of your way to be good to them, or to help them, or to show them extraordinary amounts of love, or do things for them out of kindness, only to end up with what feels like a completely wasted effort because they don't appreciate any of it, or you. And to sort of add insult to injury, they do you dirty on top of it too. Sort of like sprinkling litter on a cat turd flavored funnel cake at the worst carnival you've ever been to. It's frustrating and it's hurtful, no doubt. But, sometimes we create these situations for ourselves by looking at people through the lens of who we wish they were versus who they actually are. And sometimes you have to look pretty deep to see that reality, to see who someone really is, because they might seem fine or harmless or whatever on the surface, but later you might find out that they are really just good actors. It's not always easy to pick up on things like this, but sometimes if you pay close attention, and I mean close, people will reveal themselves in small ways that later on end up being big issues. This is one reason why, when talking to people that I know and they are telling a story about someone in their lives that they have parted ways with or that did them wrong, I very often shake my head when I hear them make the following statement. I don't know what happened. So-and-so was always so nice to me and treated me well, and then one day it's like they just changed, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they turned into an instant a-hole. Now, does that ever really happen? Does someone just change radically like that? Sure, it's possible. But the more common case is not like that at all. Chances are good that, sad to say, that person was probably an a-hole all along, but now their mask fell off and they feel like they can stop acting. That's just the thing with acting, isn't it? Performances eventually have to have a curtain call. They have to end. That is the part in the show where you get to meet the real people in those roles as themselves. And sometimes those real versions of those people are real jerks. Appearing as themselves unmasked, they disrespect you. They treat you poorly. They are emotionally abusive. They are dismissive of your needs or your emotions or hell, of you, period. They act contemptuous and all around terrible towards you, leaving you wondering how things ended up here in a place that you absolutely do not like, to say the least. When people find themselves in this place, one of the first things that you tend to do is wish that you could somehow change that person to be more like the ideal that you had of them, which is foolish, because we all know that people don't change unless they want to. That isn't a knock on you for feeling that way, because we all do this. I know I certainly have. But let me tell you something. These people aren't going to change. They are only going to become more of what they have always been. And with some people, the person that they have always been is someone who is comfortable being destructive. The first place that they learn this is in being self-destructive. Whatever the reasons are for that, and they are vast and varied, they do not care enough about themselves to not engage in behaviors and things that puts them at risk. And look, if someone doesn't care enough about themselves that they will engage in self-destructive behavior, what makes you think that they will think twice about destroying someone else? Have you ever heard the metaphor, water always seeks its own level? In a literal sense, it's used in science to explain that water will flow towards a larger, stable body, usually downhill, and there it'll stop flowing. In a figurative sense, it means that people like to associate with other people who are similar to themselves. So when you have a person who's destructive, they will often create destruction in the lives of others because they basically want the company. They want other people to be just as miserable as they are. I probably don't need to tell you why this is dangerous for your mental health, right? There are times in life where you are going to find yourself becoming collateral damage in someone's war against themselves. It is during those times that, sad to say, you have to remember that some people are just selfish and self-serving by nature. You need to remember that, once again, you cannot change them. You cannot compromise yourself or take their lumps for them either. You have to just let them do their own inner work. And not to sound cliche, but know your own worth. I mean, really, really know it. because when you do, it'll be a lot easier to stand firm in the fact that nobody has the right to damage you just because they are damaged. That's all I've got for you this week. I'll be back next week with another priority message. Until then, take good care of yourselves. Bye.